my name is Tammy Moniz with Faith Surf School, and I'm here in the beautiful Outrigger Waikiki on the beach with surfers in residence, and our guest today is my daughter, Kelia Moniz.
You're so official.
I know, it's so good. All right, well, welcome, my daughter.
Thank you for having me on your talk show.
Well, I'm really excited to have her, and one huge thing is that she has a really big part in Waikiki, this area that we love so much. We have our business here, I raise my children here, and I'd like for her to be able to kind of share her story. I don't know, like, where should we start?
Well, I mean, I always start at, my mom had myself and my 4 brothers. We're all 5 years apart. So my oldest brother was 5. My baby brother was born, he was 5 years old. My big brother was 5 years old. So there was 5 of us under the age of 5 at one point, which I have an 8-month-old right now. And if I was pregnant, I would probably lose my mind. So I don't know how she did it 5 times over. But no, we had the best childhood. We grew up right here, literally on this beach. And she homeschooled us as well. So she started her business with my dad and homeschooled 5 kids, literally on the beach in Waikiki. We weren't allowed to go surfing until we were done with our schoolwork. So for anyone thinking like, oh, we were like this hippie family who like just homeschooled, no, like she was really strict and made us finish our schoolwork like a savage before she let us touch the ocean, which was really hard as a child, but it paid off. I can't say I'm the smartest person, but I guess we learned a lot, I think. But our childhood was amazing, and I would literally not ever want it any other way. We got to surf a lot more than our friends did. We grew up in the sand, and we learned a lot. And we had freedom, but we also had boundaries. And you know, we watched our parents start our business here, and now they're, you know, have a very legitimate surf school at the Outrigger Waikiki. And I don't know, it's been kind of the best life you could imagine, really, and not in a prideful way at all, but just in a really humble way. Like, I'm so proud to be from Waikiki. I'm so proud to be a surfer, obviously to be a part of my family, and to be on my mom's talk show today. I'm calling it her talk show because I think it's funny.
Usually she's the one that would probably be opposite. Well, so with your professional accolades of being 2-time women's longboard world champ.
That sounds so weird.
Of the world.
Of the world.
And I got to be there for the first one, which was amazing. As well as a Roxy girl. Like, I think Roxy girl was her dream, and I kind of want, you share that.
Yeah, I, growing up again on the beach, I remember like super vividly one day I was, I wore the same bathing suit every single day. Like we didn't have a lot, but like we did have a lot. Like I didn't think of it as like I was this poor little girl like on the beach, even though we were. But I wore the same bathing suit every day, and I didn't think that was like, there was nothing strange about that.
I still do.
Yeah, you do. She can have anything she wants, and she still likes to wear the same bathing suit she's been wearing for 10 years. Anyways, we'll talk about that in another episode. We grew up on the beach, and I remember at the roundabout by the Duke statue, cars would come in, drop off kids, and I remember this truckload of super cute girls that were all in like their bikinis were so vibrant in my eyes. Like I remember this, like, yeah, it was yesterday. And they all jumped out, and they were just like this group of friends that I was like, wait, I want to be in this group of friends. This looks so fun. Also, I had 4 brothers, and we had, boys. I was surrounded by boys, which again wasn't weird for me, but I guess to see a group of girls who had surfboards and these cute bikinis, and then like the photographers, I was like, wait, what is happening? Like, I want to be a part of this. And, I realized it's a Roxy photo shoot. I thought that was so cool. So I like begged my dad to send them my resume, which whatever, I don't even know what my resume would have looked like. It was probably like a picture of me hanging 5. I don't know. I don't know what I achieved at that point, but I really remember telling him, Dad, please send them my resume. He's like, you know what? Don't worry about any of those kind of things. Just I want you to have fun. I want you to surf. And if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. So just keep surfing. And if your surfing is good enough, and it'll happen. And I was so sad. But also, I'm so thankful in hindsight because we didn't send them our resume. Dad and you didn't force me into this world. And it happened naturally. They scouted me at a contest in San Diego. And because of that, I think because I achieved that, like I did the hard work, I, surfed my whole life at that point. And I had a goal, even though it wasn't like something you can like work towards to be a Roxy girl. I surfed a lot, I trained, and I went to this Roxy event. And actually, Uncle Donald Takayama, may he rest in peace, pointed myself out to the Roxy team manager. I was like, you need to watch this little girl. And he actually gave me a surfboard on that trip to surf in that contest. Anyways, fast forward a lot of years. I can't do the math.
How many years?
I mean, how old was I? 13. So yeah, I'm 28 now. That's crazy. That's a lot of years.
Yeah.
And so I'm a Roxy girl, and I guess you could say I'm like, one of the faces of the brand, but I'm just proud to be a part of a brand that supports females before it was a trend. The brand started because of Lisa Anderson. She was, one of the first female professional surfers who really like set the bar of surfing on like the men's scale, I guess. She hung with the boys, she traveled with them. And I think similar to me, it was just a part of what she did. Just like boys and being around men has always been a part of my life because I have four brothers and my dad and being on the beach. And sure, it's a male dominated sport, but I can still be a girl and be in the sport. So
what is the best thing that came out from being a Roxy girl?
I think my friendships. I think it so well. Everything that you see, that I guess the stories that Roxy tells of my friendships and my relationships with the girls are all very true, and you can be a testament to that because we are best friends and we're able to do this amazing thing, and we get to surf and showcase what real relationship and real friendship looks like. And yeah, I'm just really proud to be a Roxy girl, and to be a surfer, and to kind of share this life of beach and being really confident in a healthy way. And I think a lot of that came from being at the beach and having men around me, honestly.
So as I raised my daughter in the midst of 4 boys, and I have 3 brothers too. I didn't know anything about fashion or anything. And I don't know how I squirted her to be this fashion queen here, princess.
Not a fashion queen.
You are. Look at you're very fashionable. And she's very attentive to fashion, right?
I like clothes.
She does like clothes, a lot of it. And I love what you wear too. So it's, it's funny because like when she was growing up, she literally just grew up with panties and a t-shirt, and her hair, was not nice. It was, wrangly in the humid Hawaii weather, and that's how she walked around. And so it's just really cute for me to see, your taste in fashion. And you just had a line come out with Roxy. You want to share that?
Yeah, I think after a few years of being a part of a brand and finding my voice and being very, I guess I'm out. Am I outspoken? Is that outspoken? What I would say?
You've grown to be outspoken.
I've grown to be outspoken, but in a healthy way. I like to think
a good way.
I really wanted to create my own clothing, and I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And finally, I got a collection, and it's active line, so it's all fitness wear. It's a super small 10-piece capsule that I released my first collection 2 months ago, which is super fun and exciting. And it's definitely a learning curve. I definitely am learning a lot because I don't know anything about design. I know what I like, but like when it comes down to just the drawing board and everything's empty, you just get like, I'm like, wait, I can do whatever, I can make whatever I want. It's overwhelming, but it's been fun. It's been fun, and it's been nice to learn something new that I have know nothing about, and it's very humbling to see how much work goes into making pieces and making the pieces perfect. Because I wasn't really happy with my first range. Just it was my fault too, because I was correcting things that I thought would work and it didn't. So it's nice to go in back to the drawing board and really trust their designers and have them really teach me things that I know nothing about, because I'm not a designer, I'm a surfer. I know what I like, but then at the same time, do I know what I like? Because if I can make whatever I want, that's like a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So I'm learning a lot.
Yeah. So what is your go-to? Your one, like if you had one go-to every day?
My go-to is baggy pants. I love baggy pants, and just a tank top, a crop top, something just light and easy. That's my go-to.
Yeah, nice.
And
yeah, so you can check out Roxy store in the Outrigger.
Yes, and I'm actually really excited about that because it is a flagship store. So normally Roxy is in a Quicksilver store. Across the world, normally that's how it works. It's Quicksilver and then Roxy will be in the store, but this is one of the first shops that is Roxy. And we just actually finished shooting a campaign this year, or like a couple months ago, because of COVID. It's really hard to get things done from France. Roxy's based in France, and I basically asked them, like, hey, if you guys need any assistance with any type of campaign stuff, like I have like a most amazing group of girls in Waikiki who we surf every day together, and I feel like we could shoot something really fun. So anyways, they trusted us with telling that story of who we are and what we do, and just being surf, like being Waikiki. And we shot a campaign. We shot 3 campaigns of me, some of my best friends, and we're all from Waikiki. And then they opened the store, which is one of the first Roxy stores. And so our picture is in the front of the store, which is really cool. And like for me, it's like full circle, because I grew up in Waikiki, and that's like where my dream started. And now it's like a Roxy store with not just me, but all my friends that I surf with every day. So it's really cool.
Yeah,
so,
it's awesome.
It's fun.
Well,
so check it out.
Check it out. Yeah, we'll go check it out today.
Yeah.
On IG, my Instagram. Anyways, among the girls, there's also her 4 brothers, and I kind of just wanted, we're going to share a little bit about your brothers and how it's like being the only girl in the midst of boys.
Yeah, I mean, it's so fun. I think God knew that I couldn't handle sisters, because I'd probably be a bad big sister to girls. I love having brothers. They challenge me, and they can handle my sassiness and my, like, I guess they made me the way I am, because I am strong, because I had to be strong, because there were 4 of them that I had to deal with. But I don't know, I really wouldn't want it any other way. I love having brothers. I also love being pushed by them, and I think I've always been pushed by them without knowing that they were pushing me. So watching them succeed in everything they do really made me try really hard. I even went to the point of like wrestling them and doing jiu-jitsu and like wanting to like physically beat them in things. So I think it pushed me in so many different ways in life that I wouldn't have been pushed if I was grown up in a household of girls.
Yeah, I remember actually when she was wrestling her brothers, and I'm not sure which brother it was. Isaiah. But they would pin her, or they would put you in a pretzel and hold you so that you would supposed to tap out. But she was so flexible that I would just see her face up, of like laughing and crying, just like, because they couldn't tap her out, because she was so flexible. So it was just like so funny to watch her. And
Mom said it, you couldn't tap me out.
Yeah, no, you couldn't tap her out. But it was just funny watching her. And she's still a bull, and she's a very protective sister as well.
Yeah,
right?
I'm very protective, like a little bit borderline. Not nice, but I'm very protective. I can't help it. They're my boys. They're my dogs.
So what is, when it comes to surfing, like what do you think is the most important thing that you've grown up in here? You're now, you've done your professional surfing, and you're have these young girls from Waikiki that love you and adore you. Like in a circle that you're seeing, what is the most valuable thing that you've gotten from surfing?
I mean, I think there's a lot of things. One major thing that I've learned, and I think this just goes across the board in life generally, is like having respect for people around you, but also having respect for people who are older than you. I think the whole pecking order of in which like surfing, how surfing and the lineup of the ocean kind of worked is you respect the people who are older than you wherever you paddle out to. And that was something that you and dad have always taught us was you don't paddle out and like go and disrespect the elders no matter what. But I think that's just like in life, that's like kind of the way it led into life. It let that idea has not just portrayed in the ocean, but in life, because it goes far when you show respect to people who are not just older than you, but anyone around you, people you're working with, people you're meeting for the first time. It goes really far when you have this posture of respect, and not like for something, not having respect for a wave or having respect for money or for things. It's like having just a humble approach to anything, any room you enter in life. It is very beneficial, and I think that's something that I've learned from the ocean that I've taken into my professional life. And I try and remind myself as often as I can how much that has taken me further in life, because people respect. And it's, I think, something that is it's not talked about enough, or not even acted on enough. Yeah, so I think respecting people.
Don't you think, like during 2020, we've had a lot of, it was a lockdown and no sports in our schools. So a lot of the kids and their families have come out, and we have a new generation of surfers that haven't really been passed. It hasn't really been passed down to them. It's kind of like they just came out and surfed, which is amazing. So there's a new generation of surfing that hasn't really been taught the etiquettes out there. But what would you say to the new up and coming surfers that
Growing up with a family of boys and my dad and you, it was just something that was like said once and not said again. Like it's just something that we didn't talk about, but we just did. And it was having respect for the people around you all the time. And I think because surfing has become a very high-level professional sport, parents put their kids into sporting, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, and send their kids to camp, and they learn how to do this sport without their parents being there, with a coach and filmers and all these things. And you're trained to be the best at this sport. Surfing is not the same, because you are going out, you're not going to a field where you're practicing this one thing. You're going out into public where people are surfing as not just sport, but this is like a practice that they do, and it's a part of their life. So there's a big difference in terms of like the playing field of what surfing is that is unlike any other sport. So it's not something that you can just drop your kid off and just like have them figure it out. I mean, sure they can, but I think it's a very, I just don't think it's a proper way of doing it. I think there's a lot to learn about the ocean and the people involved in the lifestyle. It's like, there's so many things, there's so many layers to surfing that's not, it is a very high level professional sporting now. The way that the WSL has elevated surfing and the level that it's at, obviously now it being in the Olympics and all these things, it's amazing. Yeah. And it's so fun to watch. But at the end of the day, surfing is a practice that people do as a lifestyle. And there's so many things that you need to learn, and you can't just learn it. You literally can't just learn it even in 5 years. Like it takes a long time to learn these things. And
so how does someone learn it? You
have to be humble, and you have to, I think if you were to come into surfing, if you're trying surfing and you just really want to embrace the culture of surfing, you need to find people, real people who surf, and not just people who surf for a couple years. Surfing is a long time practice, it's a lifestyle, it's a lifetime of learning. I'm still learning, but you find people and you listen and you be super patient, because there's now, if we look at this beautiful ocean here behind us, there's so many people trying to surf, and there's not one way for everyone. So you have to learn to share, and you have to learn to be patient, and there's so many things. I can go on and on. But I think if there's one thing that you need to take when you go with you every time you surf, is to be humble.
Yeah, that's good.
Talk to the local surfers around you.
Yeah, I think if when you get to know the community, it's good to start talking and asking questions and finding out, because that's part of our culture, is that we do things we're a community of people, and we want to have aloha for one another.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of aloha, we have our beloved Uncle Duke Kahanamoku, who is a representative of surfing in our islands, as well as an Olympic gold medalist in swimming. And we also have our own Chris Amore, who won the gold medal,
the first
at the Olympics,
gold medalist.
Yes, and
Native Hawaiian.
Native Hawaiian, and so we are so ecstatic, for her win and just for the beauty that she possesses. And with Aloha and Duke Kahanamoku, we just saw a preview of a movie that's coming out that we hope that everyone will get to see. But you want to share a little bit about what that movie made you feel?
Yeah, I definitely think you and Dad always used Duke Kahanamoku as a representation of who we should aspire to be like. And it had nothing to do with his gold medals or even, his athleticism, because he was an extraordinary athlete. We all know that. But Dad always talked about how he was so known for his aloha. And we watched this, we had a preview of this new documentary coming out called Waterman, which I'm so excited for everyone to please watch it. When you see it come out, please watch it. I think it'll give you a huge, just such great information on surfing, history, Duke Kahanamoku, but more than anything, his aloha. And I think that goes back to my point earlier about having respect for people. Is he led with that, and wherever he went, he it wasn't something he talked about. It was actually less about what he said and how he spoke, but it was his grace in the ocean, but also on land and with people, and accepting people into the ocean and teaching that people about our culture and how beautiful surfing is, and embracing people into it, which, again, full circle, I think he told this story so well, the story of surfing, lifestyle, and aloha. And this documentary that's coming out is a amazing visual. You get to see him in action. You get to see these videos of him being around people, and it gives you a feeling of him being still here that I think isn't showcased enough. So I think this is going to be a great showcase of who he was, and with hopes that his legacy continues, and for sure will be through our family. And it's something that my dad has been, preaching to us for years, but seeing it in a 90-minute film that just showcases his whole life and all the things he's achieved, but who he is going to be really special for everyone to see. And for sure, Carissa's a big part of it, and her being able to take his dreams, which was surfing, being in the Olympics, and representing the USA, but more importantly, this place we call home, and being Native Hawaiian is so huge. And I think he's definitely really proud. And if there's anyone in the sport of surfing that is aloha, it's her. And I'm really proud of her.
Thank you. That's awesome. Well, I think that wraps it up for today. And I'm just so thankful, and I'm proud of you. And I feel like, that you have grown up to be an amazing woman and are carrying on the legacy of Duke Kahanamoku here. And yeah, so thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming on to my show.
Thanks for having me on your talk show.
And I'm glad you behaved, kind of. We'll see you next time on Surfers in Residence with the Outrigger Waikiki. I'm Tammy Moniz. That's my daughter, Kelia. We love you all.